What is up, Sexy Beast Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be doing the top 10 best sniper rifles to have in Call of Duty Zombies, so let's go ahead and get this shit started. So we're going to be taking a look at everything from World at War to Black Ops 3, and that also includes Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 right there in the center, and we're going to be deciding which is the best sniper rifles to have on high rounds. Now, there's a couple rules for this list. Numero uno, we have to at least include one sniper rifle from every single game. Kind of makes things a little bit fair. Number dos, that was really about it. Let's go ahead and get onto this list. Alright, so taking the number 10 spot is going to be the Ballista, or an upgrade to the Infused Air Ballist. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that. But the Ballista is going to take the number 10 spot because it's the weakest out of the bunch. Out of every single sniper rifle on here, it is by far the weakest. It is nowhere near some of these other sniper rifles, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It's still a relatively good sniper. It's like a one-shot headshot up until like the late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in that general area. So it's still a pretty decent sniper rifle, but once you hit that limit to where it's no longer a one-shot, one-kill, it's kind of a useless weapon because it is a bolt-action weapon, so your fire rate isn't going to be really that fast. So once this thing drops off from being a one-shot, one-kill, the level of difficulty just increases so much faster than it would with any other sniper rifle that I really just wouldn't even recommend this once it stops being a one-hit, one-kill. It's a really good early round weapon, especially since you can like dig it up in Origins and get it basically for free, or you can buy it off the wall for a couple hundred points. It's really not that much. It's a fantastic headshot and point build weapon for early rounds, so I would kind of definitely recommend it. But out of every single sniper rifle, this is probably the one I would want the least on high rounds. It's really not going to perform that good on round 50, so that's why I put it at the number 10 spot. Alright, and taking the number 9 spot is going to be the PTRS, or an upgrade to the Penetrator. Gotta love that name, right? The PTRS is actually a really powerful sniper rifle, and it's going to be a one-hit, one-kill for a very long time. The only problem with the PTRS is it's a big fucking gun. Like, it's really fucking big. So obviously your mobility speed is going to go way down. It's basically like you're running with like the MG42 or the Browning or something like that. Your mobility is going to be piss poor. So on early rounds, when it's a one-hit, one-kill, and the zombies are just kind of coming at you on the catwalk, it's pretty good because it'll take out anything in your path. But once you're on round 50 and you actually have to train and actually have to run around, running with this weapon is a huge pain in the ass, and I just don't like doing it. That's why I put it at the number 9 spot. If its mobility was a lot better, this weapon would probably be up there in the top 5, but sadly its mobility is not. So if you were trying to cycle with this weapon, you would have to shoot, put the weapon away, switch to your other weapon, go far enough away from the zombies, shoot, and then just keep doing that process over and over again. And also this thing doesn't really carry that much ammo. It's only going to carry 60 in stock and 8 in the magazine, so in terms of sniper rifle ammo, there's definitely some sniper rifles that carry a lot more, literally almost like double what this thing carries. But the one thing I really love about this PTRS is it does a lot of penetration power. Hence the name, the Penetrator. This thing's going to be able to hit a lot of zombies with one fucking shot, and it should. It's basically like an anti-tank rifle, so of course it's going to be able to go through a couple fucking zombies. That's the really good part about this weapon is once you shoot into a horde, you're not just injuring like 1 or 2, you're basically injuring like 5 or 6 zombies, so it's really good for collateral kills. But man, that mobility speed is just so goddamn slow that that's what really hinders it, and that's why I put it at the number 9 spot. Alright, and taking the 7 and 8 spot can really kind of be flip-flopped. It all comes down to personal preference, which one you guys like more. I put the Dragunov at number 8, or an upgrade to the D115 Disassembler. Good thing I have it written down right fucking there. But the Dragunov and the L96 suffer from one crucial factor that a lot of these other guns, except for the PTRS, just don't have. And that's, it doesn't have Double Tap 2.0. That's why these weapons are so high on this list. Everything else about these things is absolutely amazing. The Dragunov is going to last you up until the 30s. It's a very powerful weapon. It's basically on terms with the L96, and it's semi-automatic, so you can fire off shots one after another. It's very good against George. It just doesn't have Double Tap 2.0, and that's what a lot of these other weapons actually have, and that basically just doubles the damage of every single sniper rifle. So you can definitely see why the Dragunov and the L96 are at a huge disadvantage. Now me personally, I love the L96 just because back in Black Ops 1 I used to use it all the time to quickscope, and I kind of just got accustomed to it. So the L96 for me is definitely my preferred sniper rifle, but this thing is still absolutely amazing. When I need to take out George Romero, the Dragunov is my go-to weapon. It just takes him out so fucking fast. And if you're going to high rounds, this weapon isn't a bad weapon to have. I believe it's going to last you up until like the mid-30s. That's when it stops being a one-shot, one-kill to the face. And hell, for Black Ops 1, that's pretty damn good, especially when you're competing against weapons like the MPL and the Spectre. The Dragunov looks like a god weapon, but unfortunately, it doesn't have Double Tap 2.0, so it's gotta stay at number 8. So since we're talking about Black Ops 1 weapons, we might as well just talk about the L96 real quick, or an upgrade to the L115. Isolator. Yeah, I got that right. The L96, like the Dragunov, is very, very powerful. The thing that these weapons really do well in is the headshot multipliers. They have a ×10 headshot multiplier, which is really fucking good. So basically what that means, when you get a headshot, you do 10 times the damage that you normally would. And the L96 and Dragunov's base damage is basically on par with every other sniper rifle in Zombies history. It's just they don't have double tap 2.0, so that's why they're not going to do that good on round 50. They'll get you a couple kills, that's really about it. It's kind of on par with really the Ballista and the PTRS. You can kind of switch up these 4 weapons really in any position you want. I just decided to put these 2 right here because if they had double tap 2.0, these things would definitely be in the run for the top 3. But they fucking don't, and that really does make me depressed. So maybe at some point in the future we will see these 2 legendary sniper rifles return. They are both really, really good. If you're playing Black Ops 1 and you want a strong weapon to have on early rounds, dude, grab one of these sniper rifles, 1 shot, 1 kill for a very, very long time. And for sniper rifles, they hold a pretty decent amount of ammo, not the most, not the least. So on ammo, you might be okay. But I really do hope we see these weapons return so we can throw double tap 2.0 on there and just see how badass these weapons can actually get. Alright, and taking the number 6 spot is going to be kind of a controversial sniper rifle because a lot of people just don't like this, and I can kind of understand why. It's going to be the Barrett M82A1, or an upgrade to the Macro Annihilator. Now, the reason a lot of people don't like this weapon is because of many reasons. It does have a lot of flaws. Number 1, it don't carry that much ammo. It carries 42 in stock and 7 in the magazine. That's not a lot for a sniper rifle. That is very, very little when it comes to ammo. Number 2, it's got some ridiculous recoil. It is a semi-automatic sniper rifle, so you can spam that sniper rifle as much as you want, but it's got some pretty bad recoil, so ADSing isn't really a thing. And since it doesn't have that much ammo and has a load of recoil, you think it would do an absurdly amount of damage, but when it comes to damage, it's just on par with like every other single sniper rifle, so it doesn't really do anything special there. So there's a lot of faults with this weapon, but those faults can also be good. Well, besides the ammo thing, that's never good. But the good part about this weapon is it's semi-automatic and it's a 1 shot, 1 kill for a pretty long time. So I don't really like to use this weapon as a kill zombies weapon. If like you're playing on Nuketown or something like that, there's not that many wonder weapons. You got the Ray Gun Mark II, the Ray Gun, and in terms of like other powerful weapons, you got like the Executioner and a couple shotguns, and that's really about it. If you need a weapon to save yourself if you're about to get cornered, this Barrett's actually a pretty good weapon for that. And even on round 50, you'll get a couple kills, not a lot, but you will get some. Since this thing does have double tap 2.0, it's kind of in the league right above the L96, the Dragunov, and the PTRS. It does have that double tap 2.0 advantage, so that's why it's at number 6 right above them. If it didn't have double tap 2.0, or these guns were all on an even playing ground, you can bet your ass this thing would be way farther back in the list, but it does have the advantage of double tap 2.0, and it's semi-automatic, so with that damage and that fast fire rate, if you're about to get cornered, this weapon is a pretty decent save-your-ass weapon, but I really wouldn't use it for anything else other than that, so that's why I put it at number 6. Alright boys, now we get into the top 5, and this is where things get a little bit interesting, because now these weapons can actually start doing stuff. So taking the number 5 spot is going to be the SVG-100, or an upgraded to this name, because I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm just not going to fucking do it. So the interesting part about the SVG is it's the most powerful sniper rifle we have seen in Call of Duty Zombies history. And I'm just talking about base damage. What the base damage of this weapon can actually put out, not counting double tap 2.0 or headshot multipliers or anything else like that, just the core damage that this weapon can actually do. The SVG is actually the most powerful, outranking the number 1 and the number 2 spot. Now that's all cool and all, but this weapon has a ridiculously slow fire rate. I believe it's like one of the slowest fire rates out of every single sniper rifle. Even if you do throw double tap and speed cola on it, it doesn't get that much faster, so it's really not that good of a weapon on high rounds. On early rounds, since it's so powerful, it's a 1 shot, 1 kill for a pretty long time, but once you get to round 50, you want something that's powerful and also has a fast fire rate, especially when it's a sniper rifle, because as you can see, I'm not going to be able to get that many shots into that same zombie before he disappears back into that group. So getting some kills on round 50 with this weapon is a pretty big pain in the ass. But on the plus side, this thing does have a fuck ton of ammo. It's going to carry 100 in stock and 10 in the magazine. So when it comes to ammo, it's doing a pretty decent job. It's just, man, that fire rate really does hinder this weapon from actually being an incredible weapon. That's why I only put it at number 5. Alright, and taking the number 4 spot is going to be the Locus, or when upgraded to the Arithmic Dirge. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that shit. So the Locus and the SVG both made an appearance in Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now the Locus was kind of like the opposite of the SVG. It doesn't have the same amount of damage that it has, but it does make up for it in its fire rate. And that's why I actually put it above the SVG. That fire rate does come in handy. It doesn't put out enough damage as the SVG, but it definitely does make up for that in the fire rate. I could fire off way more shots with the Locus than I can with the SVG. thus I'm getting more and more damage into those zombies and killing them quicker. Even though per shot the SVG does more damage, overall since the Locus does have a faster fire rate, I'm able to put more damage into those zombies a lot faster with the Locus. Now the Locus does carry a little bit more ammo. It's going to carry 100 in stock and 25 in its magazine, which is very, very helpful. You want a big magazine like that, especially for something that has this fast of a fire rate. And on high rounds with this Locus, as long as you're going for headshots, you can definitely get a lot of kills. Now you're not getting up there with like the Rifty 9 numbers or anything like that, but for a sniper rifle, you're going to be able to get a pretty decent amount, especially a lot more than everything else on this list. Well, not numbers 1, 2, and 3, but everything past here, 5, 6, 29, all those other sniper rifles aren't going to be able to compete with the Locus just because it does a decent amount of damage, got Double Tap 2.0, carries a fairly decent amount of ammo, and it's got a pretty fast fire rate, so that's why I put the Locus at number 4. Alright, and taking the number 3 spot is going to be the DSR, or an upgrade to the Dead Specimen Reactor 5000. Don't question it. The DSR, in my opinion, is kind of like in its own league. It's not really over there with like the Locus and SVG, but it's not quite up there with number 2 and number 1. It's kind of in its own little weird limbo league. It's not as powerful, but it's not as bad. The only bad part about this weapon is its fire rate. It doesn't really have that fast of a fire rate, but it definitely does make up for that in damage and penetration power. It carries a pretty decent amount of ammo, not as much as the Locus and SVG, but definitely enough. It's going to carry 96 in stock and 8 in the magazine. But the thing I love most about this weapon is you can double pack a bunch it and get iron sights on it. And having iron sights on a sniper rifle is so fucking helpful, because how many times are you going to be quick scoping a zombie halfway across the map, or how many times are you going to be like laying down prone halfway across the map sniping zombies? It just doesn't fucking happen. And the main time you're going to use a sniper rifle is when the zombies are like right in front of you. You're really hardly ever going to actually use the scope to see a zombie way down there. And I just love throwing this iron sight on this DSR. It makes it so much easier to use. I feel like I'm way more accurate with it since the zombies are right in front of me and not like 2 miles down the road or anything like that. So on round 50, you're not going to be able to get a lot of kills with this weapon, but because it does do a pretty decent amount of damage in its penetration power and you can get iron sights on it, over time, once you start entering those zombies, they're just going to start dropping one by one. So this weapon definitely is, in my mind, deserving of the number 3 spot. Alright, so here we are. The final 2. What's it going to be? Number 2 is going to be the Dragon. So taking the number 2 spot, like I just said, is going to be the Dragon, or an upgrade to the Bahamut, or whatever the fuck it's called. This might piss off a lot of people, but there is a gun that's better than the Dragon, or this might make a lot of people happy. The Dragon on high rounds is amazing. It doesn't do that much damage. In terms of overall power, it's actually pretty weak compared to a lot of other sniper rifles, but it does have an incredible fire rate, and that's just what makes this weapon absolutely amazing. Well, once you get that god-awful, I fucking hate that scope. That scope is ugly, and if you use it, just don't even talk to me, because there's no point in using the fucking scope. The scope is shit. But once you throw like an ELO or a red dot or something on that, it becomes so much fucking better and so much easier to use. The Dragon is an amazing weapon. I was able to survive on that catwalk in the Giant till like round, I would say like 40, 42, somewhere around that general area with just the Dragon, well, and the KN-44. But the Dragon was able to mainly hold me there for a very, very long time. And that was also with using Gobblegum, so that might have been a little cheat, but still, this weapon is an amazing weapon to have on high rounds, and that's without the double pack-a-punch abilities. With the double pack-a-punch abilities, just like every other weapon, it becomes like a wonder weapon. But without it, this thing is completely fine on its own, and that's why it's at the number 2 spot. It is an absolute monster on high rounds. It demolishes anything in its path, whether it be zombies, boss zombies, your life. It's going to destroy it and make it like non-existent. So that's why this weapon is at number 2. Alright, the moment we've all been waiting for. Numero unos. The SVU. I'm pretty sure y'all knew this. The SVU is fucking amazing. If you don't know this by now, you probably never played Black Ops 2. The SVU is pretty good on high rounds. The SVU doesn't really do an incredible amount of base damage, but it does have a really fucking high headshot multiplier, and it's going to be really good on high rounds, especially since it's semi-automatic and it's a wall weapon. This thing is probably comparable to a wonder weapon in some way, shape, or form, because this weapon's a lot better than the ray gun on round 50. It's going to get you a shit ton of kills. The only part I fucking hate about it is that goddamn scope. I hate scopes on sniper rifles and zombies. In multiplayer, yeah, you're gonna need a scope, but in zombies, those scopes are fucking pointless. I'd rather have an iron-sighted SVU and just sit wherever I want and just spam away for days, and I bet you would last a lot longer than if you actually had that scope. But even with that shitty scope, the SVU on round 50 is a fucking amazing weapon. It's one of the only weapons in Call of Duty Zombies that basically treats round 50 almost as if it was on round 1. That's how good this fucking weapon is. It's definitely one of the best weapons. I'm not just talking sniper rifles here, I'm talking like in general. Out of everything, assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, pistols, It's one of the best weapons in Call of Duty Zombies history, and if this thing doesn't return, I would be so upset. This SVU really needs to return and definitely has deserved it. So that is going to be it. That is my top 10 sniper rifle list. You might have a completely different list, which is totally fine. We all play zombies differently, so your list could look completely different from mine. That is completely okay. This is the internet. No one gives a shit. So saying that real quick, I just want to say thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are sexy as all hell, and I love you. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you were curious about being a Patreon supporter, go ahead and check it out. Link will be right there in the description. Kind of just pointed to my boobs. It's not in the boobs, it's in the description. You get a bunch of cool stuff if you're a Patreon supporter. You get your name in my head, you get videos early, you get access to extra content. So if that does sound interesting to you, go ahead and check it out. And also go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I said once I hit 5,000 Twitter followers, I'm going to start doing giveaways and stuff. Nothing too important, mainly just like hentai hats and t-shirts and stuff like that. So if you want a free hat, go follow me on Twitter. And lastly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.